Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com, and this is your
The exciting Ladar, and the Flyers are going to the playoffs.
Photo News Fix. First up, Canon has announced a behemoth of a lens, the 40 to 1200mm T5 to T10.8 Cine Servo lens. Yes, you heard that right. 40 to 1200 millimeters. Oh, and it also has a built-in 1.5 TC. Now, before you get too excited about this lens, it is designed for Canon cinema cameras and does not cover a full-frame sensor, just Super 35. Now, this isn't the first time Canon is releasing something like this lens, as the prior iteration was a 50 to 1000 millimeter zoom, and I actually got to see one in the wild, and by the wild, I mean on safari while in Kenya, attached to a Land Cruiser being controlled by two real-world Indiana Joneses. Canon says that this lens has a portable design.
Right.
It weighs in at just under 15 pounds and is 17 inches in length. But the good news is, for anybody who is dumping their old version for this version, the new one offers the same zoom, focus, and iris ring positions as before. It's available in PL as well as RF mounts and will only set you back $79.99.
Are you sure about that?
Hey Dan, no, can you add a 9? $79.99.
Damn!
Yes, that's an expensive lens, but maybe if I go to Kenya this year again, I'll be able to take this lens and focus on capturing cinematic wildlife footage, which sounds like fun to me, because something different. Now, thumbs up if you think Canon should let me take this lens to Kenya. This fix is brought to you by Squarespace, my go-to when I want to quickly and easily build a website, buy a domain, and launch it in a matter of minutes. Now, I use Squarespace for my personal website at jaredpolin.com, not only because it's simple, easy, and affordable, but if you're looking to sell your work online, Squarespace has online stores, offers Squarespace payments so you can accept Apple Pay and more. And guess what? Squarespace is so easy that when I got home from Paris a few months ago, I had a new gallery up and into the world in a matter of minutes. Do you know why? Because you don't need to know any coding. And it's telling me to yell because it's in caps, so I guess I should have screamed it more. Anyway, to get your 14-day free trial, head on over to squarespace.com/FronosPhoto. If you decide that it's for you, use the code FronosPhoto at checkout to get 10% off your first order. Next up, GoPro, whose stock is trading at the time of recording this at 88 cents. Yes, 88 cents, who has also recently laid off another 23% of their employees, has announced something they probably should have announced well over a decade ago: larger sensor versions. Now, introducing the GoPro Mission 1 series of cameras. There's the Mission 1, Mission 1 Pro, and Mission 1 Pro ILS. Now, each one of these cameras features a 1-inch sensor with up to 8K video recording. The Mission 1 is a more basic model with slightly stripped down features. The Mission 1 Pro sports a GP3 processor for better, clear, low light footage, and I'm pretty sure that the regular GoPro 1 also has that as well. It has a 1-inch sensor, which is 25% larger than the one found in DJI's Osmo Action 6, and a 43% larger sensor than the one found in the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. It can capture open gate 8K video, has better heat management, and can capture slow motion up to 960 frames per second. The Pro model also gives you more freedom when it comes to setting white balance, ISO, as well as shutter values. It also is waterproof up to 66 feet, or should I say down to 66 feet, straight out of the box, and sports a 2.59-inch rear LCD screen and a 1.4-inch front screen with thicker, better buttons, for when you're wearing gloves or something. As per usual, photography is also mentioned, but when I think of photography, I don't think action camera. So I'm not gonna say much about its still capabilities. But the third camera is the one that has the most people excited, the Mission 1 ILS, which replaces the built-in lens in favor of a Micro Four Thirds mount. But Jared, you said Micro Four Thirds was dead. Yeah, I did, and it's still dead. This is just the mount for Micro Four Thirds, which is allowing you to use those lenses, presumably without autofocus.
Whoop-de-doo.
But hey, better glass is still better glass.
Glass, 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 glass.
You can mount the camera, you can lock the focus off, and you can call it a day. Now my question is this market even big enough for GoPro to make a true go of it with pretty much one core product, no pun intended? Now back in the day, it was all GoPro all day. You wanted to strap a small camera to your head? GoPro. You wanted a crazy action angle? GoPro. You want to show people your first-person perspective as a photographer? GoPro. In a world where DJI and Insta360 are probably ready to release their own very similar versions of something like this, I'm not sure how much longer GoPro can go as a one-trick pony. Anyway, there is no word on price just yet. I'm expecting them to be more expensive than the old models, but the Pro version can be pre-ordered starting on May 21st. Now, what's your take on this? Let me know down below. A quick side note before the last story, there are less than 10 spots remaining for the Saturday, May 30th, 2026 boot camp right here in Philly.
Oh, hello, Philadelphia.
Now join me for a jam-packed day of 8+ hours of hands-on learning, shooting, fun, critiquing, and more. And of course, breakfast and lunch. And there will be snacks like cupcakes and soft pretzels. Ding. It doesn't matter what gear you have, or if you're a new photographer or someone who has had a camera for a while. There will be models for portraits in good light as well as low light, action photo opportunities with a basketball player as well as a skateboarder, possibly a Ghostbuster or two, and a ton of one-on-one training. All skill levels are welcomed and will leave here ready to capture images in just about any situation. Now, space is limited. To learn more and to lock in your spot, head on over to bit.ly/May30Fro. And finally, Sony Alpha Rumors has put a confirmed stamp on Sony announcing the A7R VI in May.
Gonna be me.
Now, last week we talked about the rumored specs where Sony Alpha Rumors claimed that it would be 67 megapixels, and now this week they're changing that to say close to 67 megapixels.
Same difference.
But I don't want to re-go over all of those specs that I already talked about last week. What I do want to talk about is the possibility that a 100 to 400 millimeter f4 might be real from Sony. Now, I know a ton of photographers love the range that a 200, 400 Canon and Nikon, as well as a 180 to 400 Nikon gave them. Though they are amazing ranges and great for sports and news, the f4 was always a killer to me. It's not just the aperture and background difference between 2.8 and f4. It was the lack of pizzazz from the glass, a lack of sharpness, a lack of 3D-ness.
Is that even a word?
That you just don't get with an f4. Personally, I live in a 2.0 world or better these days myself.
We are on a very tight budget.
Now, I know there's plenty of lazy, actually weight-conscious photographers who would love the versatility of a Sony 100 to 400 f4. Now, if there's anyone who could pull this off, it is certainly Sony. If it is real, I would expect it to be sized right and balanced and fairly expensive at no less than $12,000.
That's a lot of lettuce.
Does this lens interest you? What do you think it will cost? Let me know down below. And there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin Fro knows photo.com. See ya.